The Transformers games are a pretty mixed bag. Most games are amazing, things like War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron. Then of course you have games which aren't exactly amazing, but they're still pretty good, like Dark of the Moon and the Nintendo DS games. Everything else though is kinda mid. Unless it's Revenge of the Fallen, which hurts to play. It is honestly a complete shame that War and Fall for Cybertron never got a sequel to end the trilogy.
Leave me alone!
Also, no, you didn't click on a Kev Done It video. I just couldn't come up with a good thumbnail, and like every commentary channel, I just leached the thumbnail. It was either that or Photoshop a Mr. Beast tweet. Okay, I was desperate. But with that aside, you have seen the title of today's video. Transformers Devastation, which is more or less the most different game in the entire franchise. See, most games in the series act as a third-person shooter with optional melee, feeling more akin to games like Gears of War, with you being able to pick up weapons scattered around the map.
There's a dropship!
Shit, they're gonna mess up my fucking tomatoes! How long I've worked on this fucking house alone? You know what it's like being a fucking hermit? Fixing a house? There's no Home Depot out here, you fucking assholes! Fucking tomatoes! They fucked my tomatoes up! God damn it! Add that to the fucking list! God damn it! Those are Doms, for Christ's sakes! I grew those from Dom seeds! Fuck! Those are Dom's goddamn seeds, for Christ's sake! I'm never gonna have a fucking good sauce again! I can't make Dom sauce! Fuck you guys! This is bullshit! Fucking Damon Baird, you're a cock!
But Devastation changes it to a hack and slash, with the player being able to choose between 5 playable Autobots and 3 DLC characters. These being Optimus, Bumblebee, Sideswipe, Wheeljack, and Grimlock, with the 3 DLC characters being outfits for Optimus, Bee, and Sideswipe, turning each of the characters into different ones. For example, Optimus becomes Nemesis, Sideswipe becomes Red Alert, and Bee becomes Goldbug, who's renamed to Goldfire, simply because the patent for his name ran out. You also get DLC weapons, which include the Darkstar Saber, Photon Disruptor, and the Gold Hunter weapon. And just like in Fall of Cybertron, these DLC weapons turn the entire game into an absolute cakewalk. In fact, the entire game is a cakewalk and it can be beaten in around 2 hours. That's because, unlike most of these games, Devastation has New Game Plus, allowing you to upgrade your characters and just walk through the game. For a first time playthrough though, you might have to try, but for someone like me, the power of the New Game Plus becomes a blessing. Just like in Elden Ring, any bosses you might face turn into minor inconveniences as you can hit a random enemy with a blast from an endgame fusion cannon, killing them pretty much instantly. Oh, and power attacks are amazing, as just like in Overwatch, each of the playable characters has an ultimate. Some are mid, while some are just complete and utter cheating. For example, Sideswipe, it's a simple rocket launcher, and I don't even know what Bumblebee's ultimate is. But then you have Optimus and Wheeljack, the latter of which becomes the Destroyer of Worlds and throws the least effective Fallout mini-nuke at the enemy, evaporating them instantly, while Optimus, on the other hand, channels the unforgiving power of God and hits whoever he's looking at so hard you skip the entire fight. Each of the characters comes with 4 different weapon slots you can completely customize, with 2 free slots and 2 locked slots, meaning you have to have at least 1 melee and 1 ranged weapon, allowing for any combination. I would personally recommend you stick to 1 melee and have 3 ranged weapons, as these guns can eat up ammo faster than any mukbang YouTuber. Weapons, however, have stats, and some can only be used by certain people. There are consumables in the game as well, but you don't really need them. They're really just supplies to sell for more upgrades. Upgrades can come in the form of simple Dark Souls stats, or chips, which you can acquire via a completely random gambling system where you must roll for a chance to get better cheats, which can either be as simple as slightly more damage to completely broken boost in health, or faster ultimate cooldown. Now, you might have noticed that the game has a certain look to it, with its style feeling like one of the cheap anime games you can find. Obviously, that's because the game takes a 2D style from the 80s cartoon and transforms it into a 3D style. And I don't know if it's a reference, but the game is riddled with animation errors. Don't think that the game looks ugly though, because this game is an absolute gem of spectacles. Two boss fights that come to mind are the Starscream and Megatron final fight. I should have probably put this at the start of the video, but an epilepsy warning is needed for this game. Just like the 1986 movie, this game is extremely bright and extremely flashy, and that's after I turned down the brightness. Don't get me wrong, this does add to the 80s aesthetic, but it does hurt my eyes after 30 minutes. Not that it would have mattered, considering I did beat the game in like 2 hours. Not because I was speedrunning, but because I was beating every boss battle in around 1 to 3 minutes. The game is actually pretty small, with it being only a couple gigs in size, and the game's story takes place over the course of 7 different chapters. Oh, and then you have the soundtrack, which goes galactically hard, even making little fights feel like massive brawls. When it comes to the plot, it's pretty simple. The game feels like something you turn on every Saturday morning. It feels like an 80s cartoon. The game starts in New York City with a swarm of Insecticons falling upon it, swiftly followed by the Decepticons. Under the guidance of Megatron, the Insecticons begin to cyberform the city, attaching wind turbines, gates and highways throughout it in an attempt to physically shift the city.
Insecticons!
Plasma energy also detected.
It seems our theory may have been correct, Soundwave.
But plasma energy is unstable. No Cybertronian has been able to tame it since the Golden Age.
Then stand back, Starscream, and watch me tame it as I have tamed you.
Oh, one of these days, Megatron.
Constructicons! Use the kinetic shields to build me a perimeter.
And where will you be, Lord Megatron?
We have been given a gift beneath the surface, and I intend to use it.
With all the humans evacuated, the Autobots move in. Optimus, Sideswipe, Bumblebee, Grimlock and Wheeljack. Arriving on the scene, the Autobots quickly decide they need to stop the cons before they fully destroy the city, but a falling building quickly separates them. Even though both Bee and Grimlock are trapped with Optimus, the script says that Prime is alone, so one camera cut later, they disappear faster than Hound and Sunstorm from the 86 movie. Chapter 1 acts as the game's tutorial and introduces us to the 2 basic foot soldiers of the Decepticons. Also, this scene reminds me of how cutscenes would play out in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, and what makes that funnier is Bumblebee is actually voiced by the same voice actor that voiced Spider-Man 2099 in that game, that being Dan Gilson.
I think it's gonna work!
Welcome to the Shadow Division, Spider-Man. Tomorrow's weapons developed today. And at the heart of it all, my masterpiece. Impressive, isn't it?
Eh,
What do you mean, meh?
I've seen one of these before.
No, you haven't.
I have, I totally have.
It's a condensed matter reactor, the only one in existence.
Is that what it is? Oh. Eh.
The 2 first foes we fight in the Decepticons are the Ground Soldiers and the Decepticon Seekers. These enemies will act as padding for the game. It's not long before that you actually take on your first boss fight, and just like Dark Souls, the game pulls no punches as your first boss isn't Starscream or Soundwave. No, it's Devastator. Your first boss is Devastator. This would be a challenge if he didn't go down in 2 hits. And straight after Devastator, you have to take down Megatron, who, again, goes down pretty easy. I'm starting to think New Game Plus is straight up cheating. After beating both Megatron and Devastator, they flee to continue their plan, so we need to chase them down. After cleaning the streets of cons, we come across Megatron, who creates an arena to stop us from progressing, somehow thinking he can take us in a one-on-one fight. And judging by the runtime of the video, Megatron was wrong. And because he's a giant bitch, Megatron flees into the structure the Decepticons have been fleeing into.
My destiny awaits below. As for you, I just engaged the security system. Good luck getting in, Prime.
Caltran 1, analyze.
It's a ship of unknown origins, buried beneath the city.
How do I shut down the security system?
It appears there is a dual-layer security protocol in place. You'll first need to disable 3 sub-generators. Once disabled, the primary generator will be vulnerable.
Autobots, transform and roll out!
To solve this issue, we must destroy the 2-layered operating system, which is split into 2 sections. Step 1, we need to destroy 3 sub-generators. Once these have been destroyed, we can attack the base's main generator. These sub-generators are scattered throughout the map, each one being guarded by at least 2 Constructicons. After each of the Constructicons have been defeated and the sub-generators they guard have been disabled, the Constructicons combine into Devastator for one last assault. Unfortunately for them, this goes as well as you'd think. Once Devastator has been defeated, Megatron dials us up, finally willing to tell us what his plans are.
Greetings from beneath the earth, Autobots. As you can see, I am now in control of the greatest Cybertronian mission ever undertaken.
It cannot be. The Proud Star.
And finally the diodes tumble. I am simply going to hasten the Insecticons' mission instead of just cyberforming this city. With me at the helm, the entire planet will be transformed in mere days.
You plan to cyberform Earth.
Let me correct you, Optimus Prime. I don't plan to do anything. I have already started.
But the Earthlings
will die.
You see, turns out the structure below New York is actually an ancient Cybertronian ship from the Golden Age called the Proud Star, piloted by one Nova Prime. The goal of the ship was to cyberform planets to spread the Cybertronian Empire. How it landed on Earth is unknown. All that is known is that something on the ship is telling the Insecticons how to cyberform the planet. To actually get on the ship, we have one last step. We must destroy a security droid carrying code for the doors. The droid itself is easy enough to destroy, meaning we can get onto the ship.
Access to the Proud Star now. Time to get moving.
Autobots, welcome to the Proud Star, the great ship of Nova Prime.
It can't be. You mean an Autobot ship is responsible for all the destruction in the city?
It appears so, Wheeljack. But I doubt it was an Autobot hand that caused the destruction.
Another Cybertronian ship crashed on Earth? What are the odds?
Nova Prime's mission was to preserve our culture. The Colonnade of Cybertron was a covenant between all Cybertronians. The Colonnade is comprised of the essential aspects of our lost Cybertronian heritage, and it was placed inside the Pharaoh-Taxis, the supercomputer that controls the Proud Star. The Pharaoh-Taxis literally carries our culture inside of it.
What an historical find that would be. So much art and beauty and history has been lost. To find it again.
The Pharaoh-Taxis controls both the Plasma Core and the Insecticons. It directs the power and gives the Insecticons their function and purpose.
Okay, so we find the Pharaoh-Taxis and what? Destroy it? It's got so much of our culture in it. We can't do that, can we?
No, we can't. We find the plasma core and shut it down. Shutting down the power is the most surefire way to stop the cyberforming.
Then we locate the Pharaoh-Taxis and preserve our culture, as Nova Prime intended. But for now, stay focused. There are more floors to this ship. We split up and locate the Plasma Core.
Entering the Proud Star, Optimus states that some unseen darkness has caused the Matrix for some strange reason to switch on and off. Oh yeah, this darkness has also pissed off the Insecticons in the ship.
Wow, where do you suppose they're off to?
What is it, Optimus?
Felt like the Matrix himself just blinked off and then back on. There is a darkness here, something that has permeated this place, and the Cybertronians who lived here. We will deal with it later if we must.
Wow. Ominous much?
So together, the gang discuss a way to stop the cons. There are two ways that come to mind. Number one, shut down the ship's supercomputer, the Ferrotaxis. This will turn off the ship and stop Megatron. One issue with this plan, however, is that the Ferrotaxis contains a lot of Cybertron's lost culture, meaning that if the Autobots ever revive Cybertron, they can't then use the Ferrotaxis to help rebuild it. So it's option 2, shut down the Prowlstar's plasma power core. Along the way to the power core, we encounter Soundwave, who deploys both Laserbeak and Ravage. The fight was sort of difficult as these attacks made it hard to actually get in close, but nevertheless. Some viewers may now notice that the game acts a little bit like a boss rush, with you encountering some form of a boss fight every couple of minutes. So, fighting our way past 3 ancient Insecticons, we eventually find the plasma core. And out of all of the ideas, the best one is to simply smash the core's containment device. That goes as well as you'd think.
The core is becoming unstable. It will explode. If this continues, the whole room...
This plasma core is Decepticon property. I will not let you put one rusty finger on it, Optimus.
The ship is powered down for now. But if we allow Megatron to retrieve the plasma core before we find it, our victory here will not matter. We must move quickly.
To find the location where Megatron ejected the plasma core, we must hunt down one of the Decepticons. So searching the city, we eventually track down Thundercracker, who cracks pretty much instantly.
Today is a good day to join our cause, Thundercracker.
My loyalty only goes so far. Tampering with plasma energy? That's madness.
Wow, that took like no convincing at all. No wonder they call you Thunder Cracker.
Very funny, Pipsqueak. No one should have that thing. You want to get it, that's fine. So long as you promise to get rid of it.
I think we can handle that.
It's on the island. Megatron sent Blitzwing after it. You're closer, so you might be able to beat him there.
I know the island. Only way onto it is across Liberty Bridge.
Sounds like fun.
Turns out the core landed on Liberty Island, and the only way to Liberty Island is a bridge, and the only bridge there has been locked down. Bumblebee, however, has quite a good idea.
They're setting up defenses around the island. Why not just move the plasma core?
Probably trying to patch that leak before they move it. That's what I'd do.
I think I might have a plan. We passed Red Energon back a ways. That stuff goes boom. Teletran 1, scan for Red Energon.
Scanning. There are 2 caches nearby. Warning. Decepticon activity detected. Maintaining visual surveillance.
So in this weirdly out-of-place top-down section, we need to carefully find and transport Red Energon, which, unlike Transformers Prime, doesn't make you fast. Instead, it's just extremely explosive. Dispatching the guards, we quickly move onto the bridge, entering a side-scroll segment like we're playing friggin' Charlie Murder. During this section, we fight Blitzwing, who is annoying, considering most of his attacks take place in the sky, meaning we won't be able to hit him because it took me half the fight to realise I could aim my gun. I fucking suck at playing games. This is all pointless, however, because the exact second we get to the core, Starscream steals it and drops it back off in the city. This then leads to a race against Motormaster, who, by the way, if you are playing on New Game Plus, you can beat him before he gets anywhere near the core, and then you're just left awkwardly to find where he's supposed to go. It's actually quite funny. Beating Motormaster to the core, we must protect Wheeljack while he attempts to repair it. It's like one of those protect missions from War of Cybertron, you know, that annoying one with Ratchet where he goes down every 4 seconds, and by the time you get back to him, you get sniped by a sniper. I don't want to talk about it. It's a fucking hate that section. It doesn't even matter in the end, since Motormaster combined into Menasor, and after we beat him, after actually, what was it, 30 seconds it took me to kill him? he steals the core. What was the point? Turns out that plasma as an energy source in that universe hasn't been used for like a trillion years, so the only place to fix it is unironically back on Cybertron. So Megatron reunites with Shockwave via the space bridge. We follow him through and are intercepted by Starscream for what has to be the coolest fight I've ever had in a video game. The fight itself isn't hard, it's just hard to see considering the entire screen's blue, there's lasers flying everywhere, and you've probably had an epileptic shock just on the floor, shaking around. Arriving on Cybertron, we fight Blitzwing again, and a little later, we come to the Plasma Forge. Arriving at the Forge, we come face to face with the Cybertronian Guardian, Shockwave, aka my one-eyed king. It is unfortunate that he's so easy to take down, because the fight wasn't even a challenge, despite all the shit he's chatting. The fight actually is rewarding, however, as once he's defeated, he gives a little exposition on the past of the Proud Star.
You failed to stop me again, Autobot.
Do you bad guys ever realize how insane your plans are?
It was Nova Prime himself who recognized the need to cyberform populated worlds.
Decepticon lies.
Once the cyberforming starts, I don't know how we can stop it.
We can't just give up.
That thought never occurred to me, Bumblebee.
Soundwave, bring the plasma core online. Constructicons, is the Ferrotaxis fully operational?
Operational and already doing its work.
Excellent. In less than one Earth day, there will be no more Earth days.
Turns out the Proud Star was actually supposed to cyberform Earth because Nova Prime went evil mode. He was feeling a bit goofy. He went goblin mode. The first thing you need to do is destroy the plasma core, which causes it to do some gravity magic, and it tries pulling you in so you drive away. It's as simple as that. That's really easy. You don't even have to go back to it, just teleports you straight into the room. This is where the final battle starts. We have to stop cyberforming before it's complete. It is really just a gauntlet of how many bots can you fight before being able to heal. It's really easy. They throw up 2 combiners at you. After we've beaten the gauntlet of cons, we come up to Megatron, who flies straight away. Megatron attempts to flee, taking the Ferrotaxis with him. He doesn't get far as we catch up to him on the beach. Megatron's fight plays a little bit like a Dark Souls game, because it actually has 2 phases, one on the beach and one in space. That's because, you see, Megatron is a sore loser, and being a sore loser, he shoots the Ferrotaxis into space. Optimus, being the Chad he is, parkours his way up there. The space fight is really cool as you hover over the planet surrounded by Insecticons. The fight goes how you would expect it to go. Prime destroys the Ferrotaxis, unfortunately destroying the knowledge held in it. The game ends with a speech by Prime saying the Autobots should finally accept Earth as their home and not a stopping place for them while they wait for Cybertron to be revived. There is a post-credit scene teasing a sequel, but that never came.
What have you done? The humans will decide their own fate. Autobots, we have lived on Earth for decades, but I see now that we have not truly accepted Earth as our home, holding out some distant hope that we would return to a newly reforged Cybertron. And maybe one day that will happen. But we cannot continue to live in between worlds. From this day forward, we are no longer Cybertronians who are stranded on another world. Now, we are a part of Earth. And we must treat Earth as though we were forged here. And we must protect our home, no matter the cost.
That's where the game ends as well, by the way. That just ends there. I would really recommend you pick up the game and give it a try. And all the little G1 references are completely welcome. You can never get too many of them. I love how you can get Shockwave as a gun. You can use just like how he uses it in the cartoon, because it's just amazing. I love it. I love this game so much. In fact, the game's status as a boss rush fits perfectly, making it feel like one of those 80s side-scrollers that you can get in like arcades. And for the modern kids, it plays like Black Myth Wukong. No, it doesn't. It just doesn't. My rating for the game is a 7 out of 10, and with that said, as always, till next time.